Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. We are really pleased that you're here. We've had lots and lots of folks join Indivisible Central Ohio after in the last few months, as you can imagine, ever since November 2024. And I think this is a great opportunity to say hello and give you some basics about our organization, just to kind of, the folks who are here to help me with this presentation. My name is Mia Lewis, and the folks who are here to help me with the presentation are John Gaddis, whose computer does not really want him to share his video at the moment. Amber Decker, who is in her car at the library. Yay, go Amber. And Ann Schroyer, and I see Mary Klein here, who I'm sure will jump in and help us as needed. I am going to keep everybody muted just because that just makes it less, background noise. I'm still letting people in, so every once in a while you'll see me just, do a little something else. But meanwhile, let us get started. So basically what we wanted to discuss today in general, oh yeah, I see folks starting to put stuff in the chat. Please do feel free to ask questions in the chat. Anne has dropped this link to this document. We're going to drop it periodically throughout the presentation. We want you to know that at the end of this meeting, we're going to send you a recording. We're going to send you a link to the slides. We're going to send you a link to this document, which has all the links that you need. And you'll also have our email, and you'll be able to get in touch with us. So no worries, you'll have plenty of ways to get all the follow-up you need. But please do go ahead and drop questions in the slides, questions in the chat. We're happy to answer them as we go along. So this evening, we plan to just tell you a little bit about who we are, our goals, our tactics and strategies, the areas that we focus on, how to connect with us, where your help is most needed, and it is needed. We need you. We know that you want to do stuff. We know that you want to make a difference, and we need you. We need your help. We want to tell you about stepping up to start your own project, and we want to tell you about upcoming events, in person, online, educational, rallies, all the good things that we're doing. So again, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We'll give you as much information as we can, and also very happy to answer your questions. So a teeny tiny little introduction to who we are. We started in the very, very beginning of 2017. At the beginning, we were called Indivisible Ohio District 12. We were in the 12th Congressional District. But then when they changed the congressional map, we changed to being Indivisible Central Ohio, and we cover Congressional District 12, 3, 15, anywhere in Central Ohio. We're happy to have you join us. We are unincorporated. We have a loose affiliation with Indivisible National. We also work with other groups like Swing Left. We work with some of the nonprofits like Common Cause or ACLU or All Voting is Local. Lots and lots of different organizations we're happy to partner with. We've been active continuously since January of 2017, but we're always changing. The people who are involved, some people have stepped up or stepped back according to what's going on in their lives. We're all volunteers. We're all volunteers. We have day jobs. Some people are retired maybe, and they're looking after their grandkids or whatever it is. So we try our best to answer your questions and, get things set up for you in a good way. But we are just doing our best with, just like you, lots of things going on and to the best of our ability. So keep that in mind. We do a lot of different things. And now that you have joined us, we can do even more things, because what we do depends on who's a part of the group and who is active. We also work with a lot of allied groups, similar volunteer progressive groups across Central Ohio, and we'll show you a list of those later. We do a lot of things and they change according to what's kind of going on in our political world. Right now, with what's happening with the second Trump administration, we are doing a lot of rallies and protests. We'll tell you more about those as we go along. But those are really important. We want to get a lot of people out in the street protesting Trump, Musk, Project 2025, all the bad things that are happening. We also do a lot of advocacy on the federal level, the state level, and the local level. And we're going to tell you more about that as well. We do a lot of other projects. We are very strong in voter registration, and that includes a thing that I'm sure Amber is going to tell you more about, which is site-based vote tripling. We do voter education. We do follow-up from our voter registration. We have projects that are about communicating, trying to bridge the divide between our very divided partisan political world. We're on social media. We have all kinds of active projects and future projects that we're thinking about that have to do with communicating about what's going on in our country right now. We also do a lot of issue advocacy depending on what's happening at the moment. We collected signatures for the reproductive rights amendment. We collected signatures for redistricting a couple of times. We care a lot about gun safety, public education, protecting immigrants. We have a lot of different projects that we're involved with, and that depends on, what's really important right now. Right now, we're also circulating petitions for the Columbus Safety Collaborative, and we will tell you more about that. So again, we're volunteers. What we do depends on who is active. So we welcome your activeness, your involvement, and what you care about. We're happy to have you step up and lead a project. And we'll tell you about a little bit more detail of all these things that we're doing, and we want to help you get yourself situated and active as well. Please don't hesitate to put questions in the chat because some more people have joined. I will just reiterate that we will be sending a recording. We're going to send these slides. And we have a link document that Anne has dropped in the chat, and maybe you can drop it again, Anne, for the folks who just joined, that has links to all the different things that we're talking about at the moment. And now I'm going to hand it over to John Gaddis, who's going to tell us a little bit about what Indivisible National's goals are.
Thank you, Mia. Like Mia said, I'm going to talk about Indivisible National's goals. They had 2 or 3 main goals for this year. The first one is to help fuel the backlash against Trump and MAGA and their unpopular policies, including all the Project 2025 stuff, and just trying to tie them to the unpopular consequences of what is happening with Elon Musk and what is going to happen in Congress. And I think that's working, right? We've seen that Donald Trump's poll numbers are dropping like a rock. The more people find out about what is happening and what the negative consequences of this agenda are on our country, on our government, on our economy, on our society, people are becoming less and less supportive of it and more concerned, I think. So that's part of what we're doing. Next slide, Mia. And so another goal, back up one.
Sorry. That's it.
Oh, there we go. Another goal is that we're going to push Democrats where we need to and play hardball with Democrats in local, city, state, federal office to just try to get them to step up more and be more vocal against Trump's agenda and the MAGA allies in Congress. I think most noticeably, we saw that a few months ago. Was it a month ago? Maybe it was 6 weeks ago, when the budget resolution passed in Congress. Indivisible National came up and called for Chuck Schumer to step down as majority leader. He's still majority leader, but that's the sort of action that they're taking to try to get Democrats to stand up and be fighting back harder on the Trump policies that are happening. and I see Mia there has work and protect elections, and 2025 local elections are coming up too. So that's kind of the third goal that Indivisible National has, is that we're going to try to protect and defend our elections and institutions so we get to 2026 and we can make a change in the midterm elections. Next slide. So one of the ways we're doing that is via federal advocacy and outreach. I think the biggest thing that is probably happening right now at the federal level is the Republicans are working on this bad reconciliation bill, that where they're basically trying to trade extended tax cuts for billionaires and millionaires for Medicaid and food assistance and other social programs. And they're having some problems coming up with their compromise on that. But we're here not to make it any easier. We're here to make it harder for them by pointing out all the bad ideas that they have. And we're doing that by doing outreach, the things like going to their offices, showing up at their events. We have a weekly visit for the senators at Bernie Moreno's at the federal building downtown on High Street in Columbus at noon. And Husted Husted was appointed in January, and for about 3-4 months, he did not have any offices. He has finally set up offices in Ohio, and we're looking to get Husted events going more regularly. For House people, our special focus is we're focused on Mike Carey in District 15. He is in a district that leans Republican by 6 points. And what we saw from the Florida special elections last month is that if the same swing happens here as happens in those Florida special elections, Mike Carey is toast. He is vulnerable, and the Democratic Party nationally has made him a target for 2026. So he is already on the run, and we're trying to make it harder for him. And I think we're having some success with that. A few weeks ago, the Dispatch had him on camera asking him about town halls, and he just said, "I don't want to talk about that right now," and ran away. So that is showing he's feeling the pressure. But other people that are in safer districts for Beatty, for Democrats, and Balderson, Jordan, and Taylor for Republicans, we still want you to do outreach to them and call them and visit their offices as opportunities arise. But we're really focused on Mike Carey because he is probably the most vulnerable Republican in Central Ohio in Congress. And the way you make calls to Congress is there's the 5 Calls app, which is a great way to find out what the most pressing issues are to call Congress about. And you can get their phone numbers and get a call script right in there. And it makes it really easy to make the calls to them too. So attend events, make calls, and that's the top ways we're doing federal advocacy right now. Next is State House advocacy. This is not my wheelhouse here, so I'm going to be winging it a bit. Right at the top, Mia has resources from Rachel Coyle. Rachel Coyle runs a Facebook group and organization called How Things Work at the Ohio State House. And she's a great resource on tracking good bills and bad bills and where we need actions at the State House to find out what's going on. Debbie Cooper and Jeanine Ostrander are leading our State House advocacy group right now. Probably the biggest thing happening with State House is the budget is going through right now. And if you've been heard anything, this budget is really, really bad, and it's really destructive, particularly to public education, and potentially puts Medicaid on the line for a lot of people as well. So there's a lot of outreach we need to do to the State House to try to stop this bad budget and get it to a better place. And so I think Mia has on here linked to the call tracker to when you call your member of your state representative, state senator, you can register your calls there. The other thing I'll say here is that we are planning a state budget forum on Saturday, May 17th at 2 p.m. at the Columbus Main Library. And that will be another great way to get educated on what is going on at the State House and how you can get involved to try to stop the bad budget bill. So next, The next thing is doing advocacy for local government. Um, this is really more my wheelhouse. We've been working on getting organized and paying closer attention to what's happening, particularly in city councils, to get them to pass resolutions and take action to try to stop or slow down some of Trump's bad policies. The example from this is in Whitehall, and this came directly from our group. Amy Harkar, who's a member of Whitehall City Council, saw a discussion on Facebook in our group, asked me questions about what we were trying to do in Westerville on protecting immigrants and protecting trans people. And I shared information with her, and she worked on it and worked on drafting resolutions, and those passed about 3 weeks ago. And so that is, showing concrete actions and concrete results from the advocacy work that we're doing. And the main people leading this group are myself and Heather Lauterbach and Mary Klain, and we certainly would welcome more people from Columbus and the suburbs and elsewhere who want to get involved in this, and we can help you get started on projects with this and let you take it from there. So I think is that the end of me, Mia, or is
I
somebody else?
think so. Yeah, we're gonna switch over to Anne.
Hello. So I'm wearing my bright orange shirt. Some people don't like the orange, but it matches the slide. So we do a ton of voter registration. You can get the matching shirt and look cool like us. So we do a ton of voter registration, voter education, which is equally important, support and follow up, the site-based vote tripling. And I think Amber is going to talk about that, so I won't get into it too much, but it's a great way to engage in students and do a lot of voter education. We do a lot on Ohio State's campus and at Columbus State because they're both public universities, so it's easy for us to be on campus and do voter registration. And as Mia always says, voter registration is easy. You just fill out the form, but it's also insanely complicated as well because you have to do things a certain way. And Ohio is not a friend to online registration, so paper is best. So we have great trainings for that. Within the links on the document, there's ways to get involved, to get our newsletter, and to find ways to sign up to join our voter registration team. There's a recorded training. That link is here on the page, but also in that links doc. And the passcode is on the links doc too, so don't panic if you don't write it down. And we also have a sign up genius if you're already trained somehow, or you get trained and you're ready to go. You can click on that sign up genius to find opportunities to do voter registration. We don't have a ton on there right now because we have the primary tomorrow, obviously, but we'll be gearing up in June. There's a ton of Pride events. There's ComFest, so there's lots of opportunities to do voter registration. Thanks. And then another thing we're doing right now is with the Columbus Safety Collaborative. Sorry. So they're currently have petitions out to get signatures to get an amendment to the city charter on the ballot for November. This is the city charter, so this is not statewide, just within the city of Columbus, to change the way they respond to non-emergency calls or to mental health crisis calls within the city. So it would send out a crisis response team instead of or in addition to the police, just to have more safe outcomes. If anyone's familiar with anyone who's been on a call like this or had a call made upon them for this, it can be unsafe when it's just armed officers. So this is I'm a fan. I used to work in mental health, so this is a great initiative. Lots of other cities in the state have this already. So I've been out with Jackie. That's a great picture of her holding court at Columbus State with practically a frenzy of people interested. So there's office hours listed here at Global Gallery to get petitions, but you can also do the training first and sign up with Jackie or Cheryl Grossman to get more information to do the training and then get hooked into why you would go to the office hours to get new petitions. If you've done petition work on the last two statewide initiatives, it's somewhat similar. Obviously, we don't need lots of counties because we're all in the city of Columbus, but it's a really great initiative. And going to Columbus State is really awesome because the students are great. I will say that. And again, all these links are on the page. And I'll be back later. Thanks.
And I just want to pop in here for a second and just say, this is not theoretical. This is a concrete good that we can do for our community that if we participate has a really good chance of passing. But there's also a good chance that it won't that we'll get enough signatures. There's also a chance that we would not get enough signatures. We only have until the end of June, so it's actually about 7 weeks. We have about 7 weeks to collect 50,000 signatures. Now, there's lots of groups that are collecting. ACLU, many other groups are collecting, but we can make a significant contribution. And so anybody who's, thinking like, what can I do? How can I help? How can I make the situation better? This is a concrete thing that you can do. And we hope that you sign up. Wylands would be a fantastic place to collect. And so highly recommend.
I will add, sorry, when we were out on Wednesday of last week, I talked to 2 young women who'd had a wellness call on themselves and talked about how scary it was to have 9 armed police officers in their home, how they felt like they were very aggressive and how it was very scary for them. Obviously, they had decent outcomes because I was able to speak to them, but the woman who started this lost her brother to a mental health call, and it didn't go well. So that's why we're doing this. So this is a tangible good, and it's pretty fun to do. So thanks.
Now I'm going to turn it over to Amber, who's going to talk about political organizing.
So I'm going to shift gears just a little bit from the concrete things we're doing and talk just for a quick second about why we do what we do. I've heard a lot of people saying who are new to the idea of protesting and organizing, what good is it to go stand outside and yell? It is good. It's good because it shows other people that other people feel the same way they do. It builds power, and it helps us eventually build enough power that we can create change. And I wanted to talk just a little bit about how my experience with Indivisible has gone, so you can imagine how it might work for you. In that little drawing there, I started out as one of the far out people. I would show up very occasionally to a weekly protest when my schedule allowed. I had little kids. It was hard. And then I started doing voter registration a couple years later. And I did a voter registration project with my daughter. And then I was like, this is easy. I can do that. And I started doing voter registration. I am not always a joiner. And I liked voter registration because I could go when it was available to me. I didn't have to really sign up. If I wanted to go that day, I could go. And then after I did voter registration for a while, there was some talk about a project Swing Left wanted us to do, which was site-based vote tripling. And it's a new kind of way of using social media to get people to invite their friends to vote and to remind them to vote. And nobody had time to do it. And I thought it was a great idea. So I stepped up and took a leadership role in that for the first time I was leading anything for Indivisible, and got some volunteers, and we did it 1 year, and then it went really well. And so we did it again for this last election, and site-based vote tripling resulted in 5,000 individual texts from OSU and Columbus State students to their friends. So that small amount of work I did leading and just helping other volunteers understand what we were doing had a really tangible, big outcome. And that's what being involved can do for you. You can start out at whatever level you want. If you want to lead a project, you can. But you can also start out by showing up. You can be one of these little connector people who is bringing in your friends. All of that stuff goes together, and nationally that will go together to make change on a national level. Can you go ahead and switch it, Mia? So some of the stuff that we do, we've talked about already. We do a lot of calls to politicians, but there are many other ways you can show up. We have letter and postcard parties. We have things you can go out and do on your own, like guerrilla communication. We are doing social media you can share. If you have skills in graphic design, we have a graphic design team. You can write letters to the editor if you're not somebody who wants to be out marching. If you're not a super social person, we have opportunities to help with voter registration, processing paperwork at home. There are so many different ways you can get your feet wet and start doing things tomorrow. Every time you wonder, what can I be doing this week? You can look in the Indivisible newsletter, which will come to your email inbox. And you will find, what are we doing this next week? And we are doing so much right now. Okay, Mia.
I like this. I'm going to show this image. So one of our recently joined volunteers had this idea that we should make door hangers and go around and look for the people that have the signs in their yard that say things like, I believe in science and, things like that. So he put together some language and he sent it to the folks who are good at graphic design, and they put together this. And now what we're doing is we have packets of, I think, 25 of these that you can come and pick up and then tell us where you're going to put them, and go in your neighborhood and just go around and put them at the houses of people who have signs. So it's just a way to like spread the word so we can connect with more people so that they'll know about our protests and they'll know about the other things and they can get more involved and we can kind of spread the word. So this is an example of something where it would be great if you're interested in this. Maybe pop your name in the chat or send us an email later. I don't have an actual sign up for that, so I'm going to put my email in the chat and you can just let me know that you're interested and you would be picking up on my porch. And I will put my address, my contact info in the chat and move to the next slide for Amber.
Another area that we have really been focusing on this year is improving on communications and messaging. We are doing a lot of different things right now. We have the graphic design team has been amazing. We have a whole new web team that's helping onboard all of you. We are distributing newsletters to people's houses in the future. We're working on billboards, maybe in rural areas. We're working on our social media. We're working on a podcast. We do the postcards and letter writing. We are so busy with communication and messaging. One of the things I do want to add to this, though, is you don't need our permission to take action. This is John Gaddis had said this in another meeting, and I thought it was so important to hear. You don't have to do things with Indivisible. You can do this stuff on your own. You can come up with your own ideas. Part of the benefit, though, of bringing your ideas to the group is you can get other people to do it and amplify whatever your idea is. Another thing I would like to say is it's really great to have new ideas, but it's also really hard when we've been doing so much work when there's a lot of criticism of the work that's being done.
Sorry.
That in general is not great for organizing. It is just a little demoralizing. So as you're looking at other groups, same thing for them. If we're all working towards the same cause, let's try to keep everybody on the message that all boats are going in the same direction. I think, is that the end of my Mia? Do I have one more for this section?
I think it's the end of that section, but maybe you want to tell folks about our Tesla protest.
Oh, right now, so one of the things I like to think of when we're thinking of activities is, I think it was in Rules for Radicals that they said the best action that you can take is an action that is fun for your people. And the Tesla protests are fun. Protests in general are fun, but the Tesla protest is especially fun. We get a lot of crowd support. We get a lot of people driving by, giving us support. Super easy. You just show up. If you want to make a sign, you can. It's every Saturday at 4:30 at Easton. And it's a good time. It's a really easy way to just show up, and our numbers have been great. We've had up to, I think, 500 people there on a single day.
We had 1,000. This one was
1,000. Yes, crazy.
Yeah. And you can see our two, we have a sort of a dinosaur theme, no? Like these are two dinosaurs and that doesn't even include Tiffany and Anne. So I think altogether we have potentially 4 dinosaurs that could have been there. So, okay, Anne is going to tell us about some more things that we're doing.
I just want to shout out, we had over 100 people in the rain on Saturday at Tesla. So it's a rain or shine event. This is kind of an urgent need. We need people to help hold signs up over the highways. We do 315 and 71, the pedestrian walkways, so you're not like on a busy street. It's very safe. You get lots of honks here as well. You can see, I believe there's people dancing in those pictures. We did have an injury from dancing too much at a previous year's sign holding, so take it easy when you get there. But the signs are already made. You don't have to bring signs. I'm not sure if we have flags for you. If you have to bring your own flag, people bring the American flag. I've seen that over 315 when I was driving, which is amazing. So there's a sign up in the link stack for that. And we really do need people. I believe the event tomorrow, there's a possibility it would be canceled if we don't have people sign up. So sign up today. I have a soccer game. I can't go. But if you can go at those times, It'd be really helpful, and it's a great way to meet other people. I mean, look at those smiling faces. They're all fabulous. Highly recommend.
And we're putting, the folks who organize this have kind of committed to 1 day a week, and then somebody else has added a second day. If the days that are there are not days that you want to go and you want to organize, maybe you and some other friends to go on another day, we can do it another day. There's other highways we could go to. I mean, we have thousands of people in our group. I think we should have 50 people over every highway every day. And that would really make an impression. So don't be shy. Jump in.
I will be on the 71 foot bridge Thursday afternoon from 4:30 to 6. It's in the Sign Up Genius. Please come. It's a fun gig.
Awesome.
So some other things we have going on, because I think there is, I'm part of another organization where it has been really hard to get people off of Zoom calls, off of podcasts, and into a space with other people. And it is really hard. We all got very comfortable in a screen with weird stuff in my husband's office behind me. So it is hard to get people out. So we're trying to get more people out. So we have some social hours, because once you make a connection and talk to someone, then they ask you to show up and you're like, oh, well, I met Bob, so I need to go. So we have a social hour. We just had our first one last week. We're still deciding where the next one will be, sometime in late May this month. But we went to Wolf's Ridge. I think we had, I'm trying to remember how many people we had. We had like 30 some people for our first one, which was pretty good. You can see, and people, it was great. We had newbies, we had veterans of the movement that were there. And so it's great to make those connections. Sometimes we get great ideas from these events, and also other people who are in these establishments see us. So we are looking to expand that and have more people come out. So stay tuned for that. We don't really have a sign up for that yet, but it'll be in the newsletter when we pick a place to go, or if you have an idea on where to go. Obviously, we love places that are kind of aligned with our values, and then also places that are welcoming to a group of, we're not sure, maybe 40, maybe 100 would be great if we can start a progressive riot in a restaurant. I'm just kidding. Don't throw things. And the other thing we have is a Rise Up and Sing Together group, which is exactly what it sounds like. They get together and sing. Elisa, who's in the front of the picture, is one of our amazing musicians in the group. She's a good singer. And so this is a group. I am not a singer. I like to hum along in the background, but this is a great group. And it's always good to sing. If you've ever sung in a group, you know, it always feels better when you're doing it with other people. So again, great ways to make connections. Some other upcoming events we've talked about: Tesla. We have a veterans protest or rally, rush hour rally, 4:30 to 5:30 on Tuesdays. I know the attendance there has been lagging, so we're really looking for people who can come. It is a tough time of day. Like, I am unable to make it if you have kids or kids sports, or it's the end of the workday. But if you are someone that has that time available, we're really looking for folks to go. I know Jared Christian made a point to go out last week because he's a veteran, and it heard it was the participation was lagging. Moreno's on Wednesdays. If you've ever called his office in Columbus and talked to Tony, this is a great opportunity to go see where she works, because she's a bit of a celebrity if you haven't talked to her. But going there and hanging out with folks, again, being with people, being in community is a great thing to do. We talked about the highway signs, and then we have some other things in the month of May. Another rush hour rally in Worthington, which is a great spot to go. They have a huge park there, so there's lots of room for signs. Amber's there. Go.
I will be there on Tuesday. I am looking forward to it. Worthington has not been showing up like Westerville. And so if you're anywhere on the north side and you have time tomorrow, come on out. It's going to be fun.
It's a battle of the W-burbs. So go help Amber out in Worthington. And then we have Carrie's office. We're starting to show up there on the regular. And then Not on Our Watch rally at Bicentennial Park, which is huge. We're very excited about that. That's this Saturday. So please come and invite 500 people. Is that right, Mia?
Yes.
Everyone here, invite 500 of your closest friends. So we have really good drone footage of all of our folks. I saw, I used to live in Central PA. Bernie had 4,000 people at his rally at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. I mean, I feel like we can do better than that.
Yeah,
It's just us.
for
We
sure.
don't even need a celebrity. We're just that good. So come out for that on Saturday. We have a budget forum coming up on the 17th. John mentioned that. We'll have some people be able, the budget gets very wonky if that's not your ham sandwich. So it's really great to have people that can explain it in really clear ways. Postcard parties are always good. We have a town hall coming up on the 31st. More information on that to come. And then I'm very frantic about the public school funding in the state budget. So advocating for that, there's a couple links in the links doc about how to find your state senator and contact them to mention funding our schools fairly. Thanks.
And I'm just going to take this moment to actually click on the Mobilize link for the Mothers and Others Standing Against Fascism. Again, we're just volunteers. We really, really want to have a great rally this Saturday. One of the complaints about the previous rallies was that there was not a good sound system. So we are shelling out the big bucks for a major sound system. We're having speakers, we're having musicians, we have a choir, we're having all kinds of stuff. And right now we have like 100 people signed up, and I need there to be like 4,000 people there. So I really, this is so important. This is the day before Mother's Day, so that's why we've called it Mothers and Others Standing Against Fascism. We are going to send you the link. Please go register, invite your friends, this is going to be. It's going to be great. We're going to have a march. We're gathering drummers to lead the march. We actually have a bagpipe who's going to be at the end of the march, kind of following us around. It will be kid-friendly, so feel free to bring your kids. So we are looking forward to everybody being there. Now, you can invite your friends on through Mobilize, but one of the reasons that we use Facebook is that it's an easier way to invite people that you basically hit the invite button, and then you can invite like 500 people if you want. So just FYI, that's one reason that we do that. Now I'm going back to my slides, and sorry for that little interruption. Okay, so places we need your help. We've kind of gone through this, but just to reiterate, we need those highway signs. It's a great, easy entry into activism. Distributing door hangers. We'd love to see you doing that. If you want to help us and be a marshal at a rally, we have a sign up to be a marshal. You can go to a social gathering. You can plan a social gathering. We often need people to help us just populate stuff on our website, because we add our newsletter to our website every week, and the folks who do that work really hard. And so it would be nice to share that work around. We're looking for someone to help us and run our Instagram. We'd love to have some writers and researchers join us. We are hoping to do a kind of leafleting project, which is similar to the door hangers, but something that would be just like in a neighborhood where we just write up a little local newsletter and we drop it on every porch. It's just kind of an idea that we had that we thought would be fun to do, and maybe somebody here is interested in. When we get closer to elections, it's always good to have someone who's kind of paying attention to what the local candidates are doing and what events they have. And then, of course, canvassing and supporting candidates, if we choose to. So we're going to send out the links doc afterwards. The main thing really, though, is to sign up for our newsletter, and so you can track what we're doing each week. Once you get involved, once you see what's happening, you come and you attend, you get involved, someone will invite you to our Slack channel. Once you're actually working with a group of people on a project, you'll get invited to a Slack channel, which is where we actually do our organizing. So, it's really the ball is in your court. Like after this meeting is over, you could just, go and do all the other things that you do. I know that you're busy people, but we really hope that you will take the next step, show up at an event, respond to, click on one of the links, sign up for something, come and get involved. That's the way to do it. So the ball's in your court. We need you. We want you. We welcome you. And we hope to see you. And then this is here for Anne, who's very, very worried about the funding in the state budget, and she's right to be. So there's a link there for submitting testimony. This whole training took a lot less time than we thought. This is just a big list of all the allied groups across Central Ohio that we work with and that we cooperate with. We have a kind of a subgroup called the Thursday Action Group. If you joined our Facebook group, you may have heard from Debbie, who usually reaches out to everybody with a kind of a personal message and lets them know about how to sign up for the newsletter and also about the Thursday Action Group. It's a Zoom meeting every other week where they talk to some candidates and experts, and they have discussions about things that are going on, and they're very tuned in with state level advocacy and all the bills that are happening, and what testimony is needed, et cetera. So that's a great group to join as well. These are all the ways to stay in touch with us. We have a link tree which has all our links. We have a website. We have a closed and a public Facebook group. We're on Reddit, Discord, Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube. We have a Google Calendar that you can add, and all our events will show up on your calendar. And then we have this Join Us link, which actually, if you're particularly interested in state advocacy, basically it's a way of telling us what you are interested in, what skills you have to offer, and what of the tasks that we need help with that you're willing to do. So we'd love for you all to click on that link. In fact, that will be in our follow-up, and hopefully you'll fill that out as well. And that, my friends, is it. And that was a full 30 minutes shorter than I thought it was going to be. So you got off easy. This is every year we go to the OSU Student Involvement Fair, and we register voters, and we've registered hundreds and hundreds every year. And hopefully we'll get to do that again this year. And that's pretty much it. I don't know. Do folks have additional questions? 10 new messages. Okay. Yay. Where to get signs?
There was a question about who to contact if interested in helping with research and or website support.
Definitely fill in the Join Us form. I'm going to pop the Join Us form into the chat. Give me 1 second. And that would be the way to do it, or you can email me, which is either one is fine. So this is the Join Us form coming right up into the chat. We will have some kind of placardy signs at the Mothers and Others rally on Saturday. You're welcome to make your own. We also are going to have black armbands, and we're going to march together with our black armbands. And so hopefully that will be cool also.
Is it okay if I just give you a couple more that were in the chat? So
Yes.
someone asked about no offices for Houston and Ohio. There actually are now.
Yeah.
So that was Mary's question. I dropped the link in her comments, but I can put it in the general chat as well. So Houston has,
we have several events that happen on Tuesdays every week. The Veterans Rally and the Cary visits are on Tuesdays as well. And now the Worthington one is also on Tuesdays. We have the Moreno office visits on Wednesdays. So if anybody here wanted to start a weekly visit to Husted's Columbus office, all it involves really is just showing up and being, willing to greet the other people who are there. Unfortunately, when we first started this group, we used to go every Thursday to our congressman was Pat Tiberi. We used to go to Pat Tiberi's office every Thursday, and we'd go in and we'd talk to the staff and we'd tell them all our concerns. Nowadays, that's like the good old days, because nowadays you can't even get into the office. So, we're really just protesting outside the office, and we're protesting the fact that we can't even get into the office to talk to not even the senator or the congressman, but even just to talk to their staff. So that's what that is all about. Yeah.
Someone had a question about where to get signs, which Amber kind of answered. We have sign making parties. If you go to the Tesla rally, they usually have a pile of signs that you can grab and hold while you're there, and then you just return them. They're good, very pithy. Do we have a network for when ICE appears? or drafts of suggested letters are very helpful. Those are two very different questions. Does someone want to handle the ICE question?
We have we got printed some of the red cards and we distributed some at some of our events. I don't think we ourselves have a network for information about ICE. I'm sure we would be happy to share another existing network or just through any of our UAPA is definitely there. We work with them all the time. Um, uh, you know, we do work really closely with Chris, the Community Refugee and Immigrant Immigration Services Group. We haven't done a lot of stuff specifically relating to ICE, but we're certainly open to. So if the person who put that question in wanted to start something, that would be clearly that's a need that we have, and that would be a great thing for you to do. Yeah, Anne, what else?
There was a question about outreaches outside of the Columbus area, specifically northwestern Ohio. We do have a billboard kind of subcommittee, people that are working on getting billboards in more rural areas. That's the main push. I'm from Northwest Ohio, so I know that's a tough road out there for progressive-minded stuff. The Allen County Dems are doing a lot of protests. They had like 80 people at their protests on the rain on Saturday. In Toledo, they have the Persisters, and I'm sure there's some other progressive groups that I just don't know because I don't live there anymore. And I'm sorry, I missed a question. Let me catch up. Oh, there was a question about sample letters.
Well, every week in the newsletter, we put in 2 or 3 items that are specific to Ohio state level advocacy, and we put in a call script for calling, and a call script could be used as a sample letter as well. A lot of times we will share calls to action from allied groups like Common Cause or ACLU, and they would always have a sample letter in their email. So and I think I think when we first started doing this, we didn't necessarily include a sample script or a sample letter, but we tried to do that every opportunity. Of course, those things are time consuming. So, if anyone here wants to help us write sample letters, that would be appreciated as well. But for the most part, you should find a sample letter with stuff that we send out. And if you don't and you need one, go ahead and email us and we'll do our best to get it to you.
Along with that, Mia, I would also say that the 5 calls, if you want like a script for a letter, you could use 5 calls for that. Another thing that I had recently heard is that Congress is recording those messages and using some kind of AI to pick out keywords. So when you call and leave a message, make sure that you're mentioning multiple issues, because they're just tabulating what people are upset about. So calling is not useless, but it's like a big tabulation machine is being used for it.
But on the state level, I would say there are a number of people in our group who call regularly. And, in Ohio, you actually can speak to the aide of the Ohio representative or senator and get to know them and actually, have some impact on them in a little bit of a different way. So, I totally agree with Amber, but calling on the state level, you can actually have a bit of an impact. I just wanted to acknowledge that Zach and others have put in the chat about the SB1 referendum petition. So I think you all followed that SB1, which was the really, really bad education bill that was against DEI and, has really harmful effect on Ohio universities, that passed, and that in Ohio, we do have the option of doing a referendum against a bill. So you have to collect signatures within a 90-day period. And then if you get enough signatures, that can be put on the ballot and voters can say whether they want to keep that bill or remove that bill. And so there's an effort going on to collect signatures to referendum SB1. And they submitted their initial petition and it's being checked over by the Attorney General. And I don't know if it's, in the next couple of days, we should hear whether or not.
I could chime in real
Oh,
quick.
yeah,
It was
please.
it
Please,
was
please.
approved earlier today.
Oh, it was. Oh, wow.
so-
Congrats.
Yep. I'm working with the volunteers for this group. So we'll be collecting 250,000 signatures until I believe it's June 22nd. It'll be a hard deadline, but if we can get those in, they're going to throw out as many as they can, in my personal opinion. But if we can turn them all in, it will go to the ballot in November. So you'll be hearing more from us in the coming weeks.
Awesome. So it's a steep challenge, but for folks who want to get out there with their clipboards, we will put information in the newsletter about it to make sure that you know where you can pick up clipboards and do training and all of that. And what else?
I'm looking. I've caught a lot of, Paula, I think, mentioned she has a personal goal to do 1 action a week. So Paula
Yay.
is our volunteer of the week right now for making that goal. But
Marsha-
it's kind of nice. And I tell my husband or anyone who listens to a lot of podcasts and the news that you'll feel better if you go outside and do something. Go talk to people at Tesla last week in the rain. There were 100 people, and just with cash that people dropped off, they had $141 for the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, plus whatever the rest of us put in with the QR code. So they might have gotten like at least 500 meals, at least. I'm not doing good math. Just by going out in the rain, and people honk their horns at us, which is great. So you come home and you're like, I feel a little better. And it was a really gross day on Saturday. So, that helps. So showing up and getting out there is very helpful for your mood. So protecting your mood is also very important. I'm looking for other things.
Can I add one other thing that we didn't really talk about? When you volunteer with Indivisible, you get to meet some of the coolest people. Like, there are so many people doing so many interesting things that you probably wouldn't run into in your regular life. When you start talking to people, it's just so fun to see what people are into, what brings them to activism, and what is going on in their regular lives. It's just been the most interesting, fun group of people ever.
And I'm going to give you an example of another fun and cool thing that I'm just dropping the marshalling link there. Okay, so we were chatting. So a lot of these national organizations, it's much harder than you would imagine to choose dates for big rallies across the country. It just is. It's really hard. And so people pick dates and they don't really work for other groups and oh, it's chaos. But the next big rally after May 10th is going to be June 14th, which is because it's Trump's birthday and he's having his stupid military parade and wasting all of our money. And so everyone is across the country is, getting ready to do big No Kings parades or events on June 14th. Well, in Columbus, it's Columbus Pride is on June 14th. So that, presents a challenge. Well, maybe we can combine the two things. Maybe we can have a float in Pride, which says no kings, only queens, and have some drag queens. So, this is the kind of thing that, we need we need some creative people and some people with some energy to join us and help us do that, because I assure you, it's a lot of work, but it will be so fun. And, we're already imagining what we can do and how we can do it. So if you're interested in helping out with that, send us, let us know in the join us form or send us an email or drop something in the chat and think what a good time that will be. So, Mary.
Yeah, tomorrow I should have some nice banners that say no kings. 2 of them.
Yay.
Yep. So we can use them for the float.
Amazing. All right, guys, I think that's it. I really appreciate you being here. We're looking forward to you being part of our group and hearing your ideas and meeting you and all of that. And please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions. And we will be sending a recording and everything either later tonight or possibly tomorrow. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.